And we're live.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Can I get into the chat here? I hope we have people joining us today. How's everybody doing?
I'm doing fine. I don't see anyone in the chat yet, but maybe they'll show up. Yeah, the thing hasn't started yet either, though. I don't know. Are we rolling?
Yeah, I got it. I got it. I mean,
got it. Okay.
It's showing up.
There we go. All right.
We're there.
So, hey, takes a minute.
We are live.
We are, and Peggy is here. Good morning, Peggy.
Hi, Peggy. Hi, Jane. How are you ladies today?
They don't know. They might answer. We don't know. So today we're going to be doing full moon art. I started a group at the beginning of the year and have been doing art with the named full moons each month. So this is the third one. Today, tonight, and tomorrow are the third in the series of super moons. So the moon will seem very close to the Earth. And this one is called the worm moon, which seems a little weird and creepy. But all it really is referring to is that the spring is starting, the robins are returning and pulling the worms out of the ground. So that's why it's named that. It's just all about the beginning of spring. And so I'm going to be doing some a painting type art that's inspired by a short hike that I took this week towards the evening. And I actually saw the 3/4 or maybe a little bit fuller moon coming out before it was dark, and a lot of wildflowers because there's been a ton of water everywhere this year. You know, you guys have all been getting snow. Well, we've been getting rain here. So there's been beautiful wildflowers. I did see the first bird of spring, and so I'm going to be featuring that on my painting. I guess I could flick this over and you can see what my sketch is. I did my sketch while we were in the green room. So this is a vermilion flycatcher. We don't really have robins. We don't have worms either. but it is I did see this guy, bright red bird, and I took a picture. And when I do the speed through, if I do the speed through later, I'll post some of the pictures that I took when I was on that hike. So that's my plan for today. What's your plan, Peg?
Oh, just to play in my journal and have a good time.
That's a good plan.
We have been in flood season here, you know, because when the snow melts, then you have floods. So, yeah, not a lot of anything blooming or spring-like yet, but I have high hopes because we're looking at April pretty soon now. And so I did see some melt off going on, which is always promising for me.
Oh, you're going to have lots of water then too, like we have had.
Yeah, well, I drove, you know, I was gone last weekend to Wisconsin, and I drove over the Mississippi. And let me tell you, there's water out of the banks a lot of places. I guess over in Omaha, it's really bad right now. So, yeah, I can be thankful that we're high and dry here. But it's springtime, yeah. So anyway, when I think of spring, I'm kind of like Shell. I think about the birds that return. You know, I've had my winter birds here. I've had my buntings and my juncos and my chickadees and, you know, my winter birds. And now I'm starting to think about the spring birds that'll be coming in. You know, the things like the orioles and, you know, all those robins and things that come in that are looking for those earthworms. They're
yeah,
to the ground with all the rain.
They will be there. They will be partying at your house. I don't get nearly the variety. So
we got Rennie and Lisa and Vicki coming in. Hello, guys. Glad you're here with us. So I'm just
putting down Holly, Marie.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone.
I'm just putting down some color from my background. I have a layer of gesso down first. And because this is a night sky, I'm putting in some darker shades I'm using up paint. That's what I've been on a roll to do lately. I've got this Jane Davenport stuff. You can see that I've got it all taped up on the end. That's because these Jane Davenport tubes are crap and they bust out on the side. So just warning you, if you want this, you might want to put it in some other container. I've also got these older tubes of Dina Wakley media paints, and I'm trying to use these things up before they dry up. She came out with these new smaller bottles now, and I still have a lot of these older tubes. So just trying to use what I have. Always trying to use what I have in the studio, right?
Yeah, that's a good plan. I'm going to be using India ink today. India ink, and some of mine are dried up, but I have the two sets, set 1 and 2, from Bombay India ink, which is made by P.H. Martins. And what the interesting thing about India ink is that it's like a watercolor. You know, you can use it in a watercolor sort of a way by using it like I am with a water brush. But once it's dry, it's permanent. So this type of media is really great for mixed media if you're one of those people that are known for putting things on top of things. I don't know anyone who glues stuff to stuff. Do you, Peg?
Yeah, not in this crowd, right?
So, you know, it's great for that, and but it does all your watercolor effects as well. Like you can splatter, you can, as long as it remains wet, you can do all the things that you might do if you were going to do a watercolor. So you could put salt on it. You could do, you know, all the things, the same things. So that's why I'm playing with it today. And then I might come in with a secondary media, which is pan pastel, which I got out, but I'm not going to be doing any collage today. I know that's shocking.
Oh, I'm
was definitely
totally
shocked when I told her.
Yeah. Yeah, well,
So.
you know, there are days for collage and there are days not to collage. And, you know, speaking of which, I should probably put some art guard on my hands.
Yeah, I already did that. I knew that I would be India inked up if I didn't.
You're on top of things, my girl.
I don't know how that happened.
So we got Aunt Beck and Franna and Marie and Connie joining us now. Hi, how's everybody doing today? Aunt Beck says unheard of.
Yeah, that's right. It is unheard of.
Yeah. Got that.
I don't know who I am and where Shell is, but
who is that strange person?
I don't think that this yellow ochre is gonna work today. I think it's done for.
Yeah, that happens. I want to add some of this olive.
I think I'll just toss that right.
A little olive in the ground.
Sounds like a plan.
Let's see how that works. Oh, it looks like yellow ochre.
Well, then you're lucky you got yellow ochre. I don't. I can't get these darn things open either. They're all
more yellow than I want. I will add a little bit of maroon to that. Because that's kind of a green blue.
Cleaner upper, dang it. You know those things that you can put on there and like open things?
Yeah.
I need one of those.
You need some of those, huh?
There, that one went. I'm not very good about taking care of my materials, I think, and I get them messed up a little bit.
Well, it's hard because we want to keep on working, not, you know, be precise about our putting our supplies.
Yeah.
I don't know what I want to add here. I think I might add some of these flowers. Got some papers, flowers, orange. Something else I picked out. Somebody sent me some happy mail with, I don't know. Those are spring flowers for sure.
I've been wanting to do that. Beck just said, I assume her husband just answered an unknown number with Sheriff's Office Fraud Division. I've been wanting to do that because I get so many of those calls. I don't even want to answer the dang phone.
Yeah.
They're constantly calling. Why do they do that? Why are they bothering me?
I don't know.
I don't know either, but they sure love to do it. Like, stop calling me.
Hi, Cindy Bagley. How are you today? Yeah, I know. It's just constant.
Yeah, on my cell phone too.
Yeah.
It used to be that only people who knew my cell phone number could call me on my cell phone. That's not the case anymore.
You know what I found interesting? This last week I decided all that junk mail that you get, because I have several different email accounts because I want all that junk stuff to dump into another account that I can just go in and delete everything.
Yeah.
So I decided that I would go in and try to unsubscribe from all of that stuff that kept coming in that I didn't want. Every time I unsubscribed from something, I got another one.
Yeah, I think that if you click that unsubscribe button, then they know that you're alive.
Yeah.
And they just start sending you more crap.
I think you're right. So I wasn't real pleased about that. I'm going to put a little bit of glazing medium over these flowers because I don't want them to stand out like a sore thumb. I want them to blend into my background here. So I'm going to use a little glazing medium. And this is just a Deco Art Traditions, that you can get at the craft store that's not terribly expensive. And because I've still got some of that blue-gray on my brush, it's going to help push that back a bit. Because I don't want it to just be in your face.
Now this India ink is got so many ones that are dry.
Oh no.
And goopy kind of. I'm sad because I thought they were still in pretty good shape. But if you don't touch your stuff, it goes bad. So you have to pay attention.
Which is why I chose these particular paints to use. I have newer paints in different colors, but these are things I need to use up. So
yeah, it's a smart thing to do.
I'm trying to get through my supplies here.
Oh, what did I just do? I clicked on something wrong here.
So this is very, very wet, which, I do this a lot. So I'm going to mute and dry a little bit.
Okay. I'm trying to get some color variation, but I don't have very many colors because I can't get some of them open and other ones are kind of not in good shape. Let's see about this Van Dyke brown. See, it's goopy. No, I guess it's okay. It's a little bit different brown, but I don't want to completely obliterate everything. I just want, no, it's weird. See, it's like, ugh, it's like not, I don't know, it's like snot or something. It's gotten weird. I've had these for a couple of years though, and I do live in a very dry climate. So, you get those paints out and you play with them, or else they're just not going to be there the next time you want them. I want to go carefully around my bird because I want him to stand out from the background. So I want to make sure that I don't go over him. Of course, there is a white India ink. For those of you who are used to painting in an acrylic style, you're not used to leaving your whites like you do with the watercolor, which is me. I have a hard time leaving whites. So there is a white India ink in the set, and I might try to go back in and add some whites back in if I somehow obliterate all my whites. I can't imagine that could happen, but it could very easily. This is the place that I hiked is called Picacho Peak, and it's kind of a little bit past Tucson as you're going towards Phoenix. And it's just this gigantic mountain that's out there just in the middle of nowhere. Like you're driving along and then all of a sudden there's this big peak. And you can see it from far, far away on either side. And I knew that there was going to be a lot of flowers. So we went out there to check out the flowers and do a little bit of very easy, short hiking, nothing major. And I was not disappointed. There was so many beautiful flowers out there. So that was fun. Sometimes you just got to get out of the house and go see what there is to see, you know? Just has to be done sometimes. So I have a lot of the flowers painted down here or drawn down here at the bottom, and then I've got my bird in the middle, and I don't know. This is looking like a hot mess right now, but I'm sure I can fix it.
Well, you know, that's where a lot of this stuff begins, right?
Yeah. Just trying
it's
to get
where
some
we take it.
background.
So I have this huge circle of, it looks like tissue paper, pretty little flowered butterfly, feathery tissue paper. And I thought, well, yeah, that's a moon, right? But I'm going to use the back side of it. And I'm just going to glue that down using some matte medium and get that down on my paper. Here, let me get a brush. So I like to do both the back of the paper and the paper I'm sticking it to, just to make sure I get a good bond. I don't know. Sometimes if you have a thicker paper, you may want to spritz the paper with a little bit of water to help with that adhesion. Just take a, you know, any water spritzer and spritz it lightly. And then when you put it, oh, and then I put it on the wrong side. All right, we'll do both sides. That's the way I roll, right?
Well, if you have it on the top, it's going to seal it. So
yeah, well, I intended to go over it, but it would have helped if I put it on the right side to start with. So you can kind of see some of that background coming through, which I'm okay with, because if you look at the craters of the moon is not the smooth, even surface. It's got all of these lumpy, bumpy things on it. So I kind of like that coming through the background there.
let's see, that's not birdie bird. No, that's the wrong color.
So must be early in the evening because it looks like it's on the rise. You know how when it gets up in the sky and it just gets further and further away to you when you look up there? This is just like when it's coming up over the horizon. Early evening.
So the I guess I can flick this back over. The birds in Arizona aren't usually that bright colored. So when you see something like this guy, he really stands out. We were at the soccer field and watching a game at the soccer field, and there was a mesquite tree, and I just out of the corner of my eye, I saw this little flash, of this super red color. I'm like, what is that? So then I had to look closely, and it was this little bird, and he was so red, like just the reddest thing. And so then I got out my phone and I took a photo, and he just stood out so much from all the browns and greens that we normally have. And the top of his head and his chest were all just this beautiful red color. So then, of course, I had to go home and look it up and find out what it was, which is a vermilion flycatcher, which I'd never even heard of course. But yeah, then the rest of his wing and stuff were a little bit brown colored, like it usually is. It's not going to be all the way one color. So I'm going to try to bring in a little bit of the browns onto his wing and tail. With the colors that I've put out on my palette. And then these flowers down here are all going to be bright colors. We had oranges and purples and yellows and whites out there as we were hiking around. A lot of green, like even, the ground and everything is green out there. I posted some pictures on Facebook, and if you guys are my friends on Facebook, you might have seen them. But of course, there's no way to really show in a picture how awesome something looks in real life. So I did my best with the pictures, but they don't necessarily highlight how awesome everything really was out there. See if we can get some greens in here down here. Ugh. If I can open them, that's the problem. And then when I open them, they drip little gloppy bits everywhere onto my paper. This one is grass green, and then I have some regular green.
I'm gun shy now. I clicked something earlier and it bumped me out, so it's like I had to get back in here.
You got kicked out?
Yeah.
Let's see. Need to vary my pen size. Where's my real tiny one? Here it is. These are the Arteza water brushes, and I like them because I'll just show you guys. When you push this red thing, a lot of water comes out. It's a lot easier to manage than some of the other ones that I have. Although I use other ones, I just grab whatever I grab. But
yeah, I have a problem with the Arteza because I think it takes too much pressure for me. And if you have old arthritic hands, probably not the best one, but to each his own.
Yep. I don't have arthritis in my hands yet, so
yeah.
Just some weird numb thing. I've got a numb thing.
Weird numb thing. Okay.
Got it. I got that. Numb thing going on. Nerves being pinched or whatever.
Yeah. Let's see. What do I want here? Purple.
Get some of these stems going. Some of the leaves. Leavesies. Stemmies. My little bird has to have something to hold on to, of course. Otherwise, what would he do?
I know, right? I got to get some black paint.
I bet you have some.
Something. Yeah? You got some of that?
Probably.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I have a little bit around here somewhere too. Just not right jumping in my hand.
we'll see if this painting is too ambitious for an hour and a half. We'll see. I seem to be doing that lately. It might be too much.
Or it might be just right, you know?
Yeah.
It's really hard
to
judge.
Gauge.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard enough to figure out what you're going to do.
Yeah, especially when you wait to the last minute, like I did this morning.
Like I always do. Because I'm like that. I'm bad to the bone here.
Bad.
Bad. Yeah, Fia says they still have snow. Yep, I hear you, Fia. We just have
go away
patchy stuff now. Not real bad.
We did have a bit of snow this year. It was a shock, but it's gone now.
Yeah.
Even off the tops of the faraway mountains, we don't have anything. That's gone. All right. Now let's see about some of these shapes. Look at shapes. Well, even if I don't get this done, it's fun.
Yeah, it's nice to just get the paint out and play.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I was doing this week. I met my friend from Milwaukee at a retreat in Wisconsin. And so we were there for 4 days together, just painting and playing. If you notice what I had been posting this weekend on Instagram, it was just, you know, my painty pages, stuff that I was playing with.
Well, I haven't posted anything at all for, well, a while, a week maybe, because I haven't done anything because I haven't been busy and not in any mood.
Yep.
To do it. So sometimes life takes precedence and you just don't have the energy or the time.
That's right.
This is looking pretty fun. We need to get some blacks and some other colors.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, this plant that he was on was orange flowers, like little cup flowers. And then there's also some poppies and some purple flowers. I don't know the name of them. I didn't do any research about the flowers. Oh, I can't get this open. There we go. Come out. Is there anything in there? Of course not. That one's dead too. Crap. Guess we're gonna have to mix my own colors.
You know, figure out. You're so interested in what you're looking at, and you know, sometimes you don't think about, oh, I should take lots of pictures of this from different angles because I'm going to be painting later and this would make good subject matter. But, you know, anytime you're out in nature like that, it's a good time to take your camera and to just photograph.
Yeah, I always have my phone on me, and my phone has a pretty decent camera in it.
Yep.
So that's usually what I do, is I just grab it and take a photo real quick, just in case I might want to use it later.
It's always a good plan.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to mix some of this white with this other color I have, and maybe that'll make a decent enough orangey. A little yellow in there. You can certainly mix your colors if you don't have the colors that you wanted.
That's true.
Maybe that'll do. Let's get a little bit
here.
of this color.
Isn't that clever? Nightshade.
I definitely have to leave on time today because I gotta go down to the hospital. So
yeah, so we need to keep an eye on the clock.
Yeah,
somebody start warning us when we're when we're not doing what we need to do.
Yeah, because I got my head down. I'm not paying attention. So.
Yeah.
And I'm having a pretty good feeling that this thing isn't going to be done. So I'm probably going to have to film the rest of it later. I don't seem to be getting very far very fast.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those things you like to take some time on. I don't know about you guys, but I find this very relaxing, very meditative. I like to do this sort of thing where you're just spending your time, and take the time for the stuff to dry in between. Now, in a show like this, we don't. A lot of times we dry with a dryer, and I think you get much better effects if you can let this stuff dry naturally.
Definitely.
It's just, but we don't really have that luxury when we're doing something like this. So like I'm trying to let some of this dry up here because I want to add some leaves to my branches, get some spring greenery going here. But this is all very, very wet. And so I'm going to have to apply some heat if I want to go back into that area. And I also want to do some pen work on here. So if I'm doing that, it's going to take a little bit of dry time.
Yeah, I think I want to do illustration marks too. I'm kind of an illustration person.
Yep.
So, so there's probably going to be some of that, which is going to come later. And I was thinking about putting that layer of another layer of pan pastel over the top of the ink. So,
yeah, that would be nice. That'd be very nice.
Something like that's probably going to happen. Oh, dang it. Forgot to turn it off.
They found you. They found you.
Oh, decline. Come on, go away, you silly people. Why are you bothering me?
Right.
You never stop.
So, I don't know. Now you see me. I didn't like that purpley color. I wanted to add more of that magenta in there. So I'm just taking some gesso and blending that out. Because I want to give the spherical effect to the moon. And you do that by shading. So, get a little bit of that magenta and continue that. That purple was just a little too purple for my taste.
Too purple?
Yeah.
Say it isn't so.
Oh, Shell, you know how I am.
Yeah. Brown, 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 teal, teal.
You know what? There's not a bit of brown on here yet.
Well, you better fix it.
Not a spot of brown. What's going on here?
I don't know. You better get some out quick before it's too late.
Actually, I think I'm going to use some glittery stuff today. My friend sent
Ooh.
some of those sprays home with me. Those Diane Reevely sparkly stuff. And I'm thinking, be pretty. So I need to thank her by using it and showing her that I'm not just sitting it on the shelf somewhere.
Definitely.
We all have too much stuff sitting around on the shelf.
Need to get some of these purple flowers going here. Green in the background. Oh no, there's too much of a harsh line right there. All right, where's some purple? Purple. I need to spray these because they're getting dry.
Yeah, I gotta dilute this down a little bit. Getting pretty thick.
Yeah, just spritzed my, whoa, oh, over the top. The purple just took over the entire palette.
Okay.
I just wanted a drop.
Purple
That was more than a drop.
Purple can take over your life.
Just looking for a drop.
Sybil says there's no such thing as too much purple.
Yeah, I'm with her.
And she says Shell has all the brown today. Is that right?
It's a reddish brown.
How'd that happen?
It's a reddish brown. Come on.
Reddish brown. Okay.
I do have a lot of brown, but that's because where I live, it's brown, which
Right
is
now.
maybe why I don't use that much brown.
Yeah.
That's all I see.
Well, where I live, it's either green or white. Ha.
Yeah, see.
So I don't know. Do I want to introduce that color? I don't think so. Let's go back to that lovely shade of marine. Layer some of that in here. What I'm doing is I'm putting a darker color down. Now, I just used the magazine image as a backdrop. I'm painting over the top of it because I want it to be my own. I'm just using the shapes there to give me an idea of where I want my colors to go. And maybe some of that underneath color will shine through. And that's okay. I want some of that underneath color to shine through. I also want a little bit of that on the underside of my bird here. You know, feathers have this kind of wispiness to them. So, okay, and now that I've got that on there, I'm going to come back with some of that other green, which was the olive, and mix it in and blend it to get a new shade. Because like Shell says, you can mix your paint.
Yes, you can always mix your paint.
Because that olive was really a little bit on the yellow side for me, and I didn't want it quite that yellow. I want it more towards the green family here. And it's nighttime. You know, in the nighttime, you get a lot of grays and, you know, muted shades. So you can, you know, you can tone things down with some blues and do all kinds of things to get those shades that you're looking for in the night. But I just want to get the impression of layers of leaves here. And I'm going to add actually a little bit of gesso to that because it's quite translucent. And I want to put some leaves up here. And so the gesso is going to make it more opaque. And that's just something you learn with time as you start mixing paints. You know, your yellows are always going to be a little more translucent.
Yeah, there's no such thing as an opaque yellow.
Yeah.
You can mix and make a very pale yellow with, if you mix a lot of titanium white in it, because titanium white's opaque, you can kind of almost get sort of an opaque.
Sort of, kind of.
Sort of not, but sort of.
Yeah. These actually, I'm looking at these leaves I'm putting on the branch here, and it almost looks like pussy willow, which is another spring blossom.
Ooh, pussy willow. We used to have one of those in my backyard when I was growing up.
Yeah.
I loved it. All right. Let's see. Black. Get some black. Just a drop, please. Don't go crazy like the purple.
Yeah, I know the black seems to overpower a lot of things. And I just want a really tiny liner. If you want to do edging and things, you can use a pen or you can use a little liner brush. And what I do is I'll water down. I've got a real fluid, media fluid acrylic to start with in the black, and then I just spritz it with a little bit of water. And then when I load my brush, I just twirl it through there to get a nice fine line. And then I don't hold the brush down close like you would with a pen. I hold it out here on the end, and I just, you know, use the very tip to do my lining with. Just a technique that works for me. And you can see I get a nice line on the bill of my bird that way. Because I don't want anything very thick. I just want the suggestion. Same thing here with the wing feathers. I want the suggestion of the feathers here, so I'm going to use my liner and just get that suggestion going. So it doesn't necessarily always have to be a paint pen. A paint brush like this works real well too. And since this is probably not going to be dry enough at this point for a pen, this is another nice option for doing your lining. Not that I have real skill with this, but I'm learning.
Yeah, I'm kind of doing the same thing, except for I'm using the India ink and this little fine tip water brush.
Uh-huh.
And I'm just making kind of line shadows on some of my stuff here. Just to make it stand out a little bit more, like these mesquite branches that are coming out from the sides of the page to add balance. I've got, you know, just some little flicked lines, kind of the style that I do. It's there in the foreground, and then everything else is in the background. And then I might mix a little bit of this green with the black. It's a little bit overpowering though, but just do some of that same type of stuff here at the bottom. Some little kind of flicks just to keep the lines of my stems here in the foreground. Maybe add a little bit of shadow to some of the leaves. And I did the detail work before I flicked the camera over. I did the detail work on the bird with where the black is on the bird, which is, he has like a bandit mask. He's a bandit.
He's a bandit.
Yeah. Definitely is. Some of my cactuses back here. It had like this weird section here that I don't like, so probably gonna have to do something about that. Like this blank section in the middle that I do not like. Don't like it. Well, probably where that India ink might come in handy. I mean, the pan pastel might come in handy there.
That's one of the nice things about paint like this rather than watercolor. It's you can always go in and cover up something that you don't like.
Yeah.
Watercolor is a little bit harder.
It definitely is. First of all, you have to think about leaving stuff that you want white, and then you got to think about then if you don't like what you did, then you have no like option. That's how come I really like acrylics and stuff like that. But since I'm a mixed media artist, I can get out that pastel and add a little bit of oomph, because it can be very opaque in certain colors. So I can go over the top and add a second layer to my piece, which will make me happy to do.
Yeah.
Get a little bit of texture in this birdie guy here.
Right, Ela, I see we've got people joining.
I posted that we were going live in both groups, and I think sometimes people see it and join a little bit late.
Yeah. Well, everybody's got a life. I get it.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Pesky life.
A little bit more white to blend with here. So I don't like the lines that are happening. Sometimes your brush marks aren't doing exactly what you want them to do, so then you have to go back and redo some of that. And I don't want it, I want it translucent because I want to be able to see the texture that's underneath. So I'm going to blend this out just a little bit and add some water. And then just a little bit of that glazing medium to thin it then. This is a good way of thinning your paint without actually breaking it down, is by adding a glazing medium. So let's see, it's still awfully thick. I want to blend that out.
Yeah, my chair is being very squeaky.
It's talking to you.
Yeah, I don't know why it said I'm gonna have to, I don't know, do something about it. I don't know if you guys can hear it or not, but that sure seems loud to me.
I can hear it. It's just kind of like the wind's blowing and something's creaking, you know.
Yeah. It's my chair. Just feel like going.
So I think it was the brush that was bothering me. It's not a good quality brush, it's just a craft brush. So it wasn't responding the way I wanted it to. So I'm back to finger painting.
Hey, nothing wrong with finger painting.
Right. Man, I got too much. Yeah, I always thought that was a good class, finger painting. Like in first grade or second grade, right? Finger painting.
I don't know if I remember it or not, but I sure know that I would finger paint if given any chance. So
now I'm gonna get out my Stabilo. Not real crazy about what's going on here, but this is going to be a little bit different. I have a plan, kind of, sort of, and I want to put some of that sparkle up in the sky, you know, because I said I was going to use that sparkle spray. So you guys see what that does? Holly says it sounds like you're on a ship. That'd be cool.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like when the waves are rolling you back and forth and it's...
Yeah.
I like that idea, Holly. She's shipboard.
I like that too. I wished I was on a ship. That would be fun.
Yep. Okay, so where did I put those sprays? Oh, here they are. I wonder what color I want to use. I haven't really used these. Have any of you guys used these yet? I was watching my friend use them this weekend. Pink and, oh, here, let's test it out. Let me get a piece of paper and just see what they look like. So I'm not sure what color I want or how much coloration these things have. I know I don't want a black. I could go with a blue, or I could go with ooh, that's pretty. Whoa. But that is more, yeah, that's more like the colors we have in our background. What color is that one? I bet that's that post, yeah, post office. Post office, or what's this one? Funky Fuchsia?
Oh, those are the Dilutions ones.
Yeah.
Recognize the colors.
Crushed Grape, Funky Fuchsia. You know all those fun names.
Yeah.
Calypso Teal. And think the London blue is just going to be too dark. I think it might be a combination of that. And one thing I was thinking about was, what does that look like if I put it on? See, she hasn't even opened this one yet. I get to be the one that opens it. Ooh. Only I'll probably kill myself doing it. You know how I always use something sharp and then it slips?
Yep. Been there, done that a million times. Like, whoops.
So I was wondering, see, it's got all that mica down in the bottom. So you gotta shake them. Gotta shake them.
Shake it, shake it, shake it.
I wonder what it looks like if you put it on a stamp. And stamp it. Let's try that and see what we get. Oh, oh, that's pretty. That's really pretty. There's quite a bit of juiciness to it too. That's the 3rd generation. This 4th generation. Let's see, what do we get? We get shimmer, not until it dries. As it dries, you can start to see the shimmer. So I'll set that aside to dry. Take a look at it later and just, you know, wipe my stamp down a little bit. A little bit of water. Water. But you know, I bet you if you water it down, you can keep on going. Probably keep on going. Yeah. Got some more on there. Okay. That's what I like to do when I get new products, is just experiment. Give it a try. See what it does. Okay, so that, I think, has determined that we're going to use this Funky Fuchsia. And
Funky Fuchsia.
Let me find a stencil. Got this one. What is this? This is from Joggles. This is a Joggles stencil. So I'm going to put that up in the sky. And I want to mask there. I can spray down here. Just want this up in the sky area. So can you guys see all of that shimmery goodness down there at the bottom? I want to get this area up here. So let's see if I can get this flat enough to spritz. Oh, yeah. A little bit of puddle there.
Okay.
Like that. Probably should have done it before I did my branch on the other side. That's okay. I'm going to live dangerously. just mask off my moon area on the light one. Get that in there. Okay.
Ugh.
Yeah,
All right.
good enough. We'll let that dry and we'll see how the shimmer turns out. I'm thinking it should be really pretty. Got a little bit excess up here. Blend that out. I don't know what I got on there. Oh well. Probably something from my palette. Which just means I need to come back in with something else. Oh, Becky's son hated finger painting. See, one of those kids that always has to have clean hands?
Yeah.
I mean, there's some kids that are like that. They don't like...
It was just too messy.
Yeah.
So I've got out my pastels now, my pan pastels. They are like a creamy, soft pastel in a pan that's very highly pigmented. And I'm doing a second layer over this. I've got them all spread around. I've got different ones, different colors, and I'm just using a soft tool to go in and just kind of, I don't know, tighten up some of this stuff. And then I can come in and add a highlight if I want, like if I want this area right here to have more of a moonshine coming off it, I can use the white. So it's another alternative to the paint. Just kind of get these things tightened up a little bit.
Yeah.
Now with a pastel, you have to have some sort of a texture on your paper for it to catch. It kind of, you know, to go down in the grooves kind of. So this pad that I'm using and have been using for these moon paintings is an acrylic paper. It's also an Arteza one, and they call it acrylic paper, and it is textured like a watercolor paper.
So is that like those plasticized ones?
No, it's absorbent, but it's very textured. It's
Because I
bumpy.
can't remember what brand I got. I got an acrylic paper, and it was almost like a plasticized, but it had a print to it, kind of like canvas.
Yeah, I
But
think they're trying to imitate canvas.
Yeah,
And they're you know, bringing in a texture, a press into the paper, seems like. When I was at Hobby Lobby this week, I looked at some other brands of acrylic paper because like Arches has an acrylic paper.
Uh-huh.
And just seeing if it was the same as, you know, because Arteza is a less expensive product.
Yeah.
They sell their stuff for cheaper. So I thought, well, is it the same? And it seemed the same. So it was interesting. It's like a prep, like they've tried to press the paper into a canvas type of a feeling.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually hadn't heard of it till I got this paper from Arteza. Hadn't heard of acrylic paper. Now what? Hush.
Well, you know me, I'm always curious, and when I see something I haven't seen before, I have to pick it up and feel it and
Yeah.
figure out what is this stuff.
I don't spend a lot of time in actual retail stores like that. I buy most of my stuff off of Amazon, so I only feel it when I get it.
Yeah.
But since we have a new Hobby Lobby store and I was out, I stopped there just to check it out, see what kind of products they had in a pinch if I had to run out and get something, and would I be able to
Yeah.
get something. And
Well, it helps to know what's available in your area.
yeah, for a large town, not a whole heck of a lot.
I know I'm always surprised by what's where you are, because it seems like a city like yours should have all
I
that.
know it's a huge city. You'd think we would have stuff, but we don't.
Well, and there's a lot of art going on in the Southwest, you know?
Yeah, there is a Dick Blick over in Phoenix, but that's the only one on the West Coast, really, and
Mm.
it's over by their university. So I don't know. It's weird. There are tons of arts going on here, and maybe that I'm missing something. But I've
I don't know, because
looked around.
I keep looking at stuff that's happening where you are, like they'll have the bead show, or they'll have
Oh
just
yeah,
different things that are going on that I'm thinking, oh, that would be cool. That would be cool.
one thing is they are really terrible about advertising stuff, and you find out later that
Oh dear.
there was something you missed.
Yeah, that would not set well with me, because I hate to miss stuff that's right here in my own
Yeah.
space.
What time is it?
Oh, I don't know. I suppose I better start do some finishing stuff on here, huh? I'm just talking and having a good time. Oh man.
That's what should be going on. I just know I have to get out of here. I don't
Yeah.
have an option today to hang around.
So let's see. I'm going to put a little Stabilo around the moon. Give it a little bit more shadow here. And get my water brush and wet that. If I find one that's got water in it. There we go. So anyway, it was really funny, because I was with a whole bunch of scrapbookers with their Cricut machines and all of that. And I'm sitting over there with my journals doing my mixed media thing. People were interested, but they were making their t-shirts and doing their scrapbook pages, and was not what I was doing.
So it was just a general art retreat, or it was specifically for scrapbooking?
No, it was just, they'd rented this. It's like a retreat house. And because it's like right in between where we are, it's about pretty close to halfway between where we are to each other, then it's a good meetup point,
Mm-hmm.
You have to have places to go meet up with your friends and do that kind of thing. So
That sounds fun.
it's kind of what we did. Yeah, I'm not real happy with this down here, so I'm going to change that because I'm going to add some quote stuff. So I'm going to, let's see. I've got this welcome back that's just a magazine cut out. So let's say welcome back spring, right?
Definitely.
So I'll add that in. And found this other little early bird gets the worm.
Mhm.
I might put that on there somewhere. But I printed off this quote. Thought I might use. Let's see if I can get that to stick down. It's from Richard H. Baker, and I don't know who the heck that is. Anybody know?
Beck says Peg's hands are so pretty.
Aren't those gorgeous?
You have kitty stuff on your hands.
I'm so glad I put that art guard on, because I will be going out later, and I hope that this stuff washes off. We'll see. If not, I'll just be purdy. I think I may want to change the coloration on this a little bit, since we like that purdy color. And the white is pretty stark. Just saying. So I'll find that spritzer bottle with all the shimmery stuff. You were thinking the same thing, Holly? Okay, so go back to this. You got to shake it about every time, because you see it's settled out again. But I just want to... It says, for most people, we often marvel at the beauty of a sunrise or the magnificence of a full moon, but it is impossible to fathom the magnitude of the universe that surrounds us. So I'm going to add that. And I'm just going to add a little bit of that coloration in here. And dry that up. Just a bit. And I'd say, because this stuff has mica in it, you probably always, before you put these away, want to wipe that little squirt bottle end, because we know how much trouble we have with spray things, right?
Yep.
So I think that's going to hide a magnitude of sins here. I think I might need to take that edger tape off first, though. Just like position where it's going. And it's tearing, which is normal for me because my tape is too sticky. So let me get that tape off the edge. Forgot to press it to my shirt, which would have been a good idea. So it doesn't lift the fibers of the paper. this pulled back and reveal the page. Like so. It's giving me a little better idea of what I want. And then my glue stick. Yeah, got to soak those lids for sure.
I wish they could invent some way for them not to be such a pain.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Yes. Be really great. I get a little bit frustrated with them. Every time I get one out, I have to clean it because it's all gunked up again. So I've got my white Posca pen out, and I'm just doing some detailing on these front images that I want to be in the focal area here. Because you know, if I wouldn't do a project without a white Posca pen.
Heavens, no.
Can you even imagine such a horrifying thing?
Well, you know, that white accent, the white and black just seems to add so much. Now, there are pieces that I don't like to put black onto, but I still use the gray tones.
Well, I figure that these white highlights that I'm adding must be moonshine. You know?
Yeah.
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Might as well.
Yeah.
I think I have to add these words since it's the moon, the worm moon. We do need something about the worm in there, right?
Yep. When I first read that one, I was like, ew.
Yeah.
I don't like worms.
Yeah.
Ew. But then I read why it was that, and then I realized that made sense. But it's like, ew, worms, gross.
Let's see. Don't know if that's dry enough yet, but we'll give it a try. I won't use a good pen. I'll use a cheapo. Oh, I know what I could use. Huh. I've got these this brush pen from Pentel.
Oh yeah, I love that brush pen.
That'll work over the top of that, even if it is wet.
Well, this isn't too bad for an hour and a half.
Yeah,
I didn't know.
page, right?
Yeah. It's maybe not as refined as I wanted, but Get a little bit of black going here. A few areas.
Yeah, it's not a fine piece of art, but it's an expression of what this was about today, which is all about the moon and the phases and the, you know.
Yeah. So if any of you would like to play along with the moons for the rest of the year and you haven't done so, you can come and join my group on Facebook, Full Moon Art. Just make sure that you answer the questions.
Well, and remember, just because you didn't do the ones for the previous months doesn't mean you can't do them and add them.
Yeah, you can do them now, or you could just pick up with April, whichever way you want to do it.
Yep.
Beats. Vermilion Flycatcher.
Baltimore Oriole. Guess we were in a spring bird phase today.
Well, that's what the moon was about, so it
Yeah.
makes perfect sense that that's what we would be doing. It's a pretty awesome bird. Very red. Okay, so it looks like we've got about 8 or 9 minutes left. Anybody have any questions or anything you want to talk about? Anything to say about anything?
Well, Marianne's talking about the moon and faces. Cindy, a worm moon is spring moon when the birds feed on the worms coming up. Oh, Holly's answering a question, I guess. Thank you, Holly.
Yeah, all about those earthworms.
Thanks, Marie. Hey, Beck, have a good day. Tell Scott hi.
Worm moon.
I'm just trying to, I think I'm pretty much there. I might do a little bit of a border or something, but I've got paint everywhere, so I'm trying to clean up some of my patchwork stuff here. Because I have a mess on my desk.
I'm doing a few splatters with my paint pen for stars.
I think I should have. Let me look at my stamps. Let's see what's available. Get a clean sheet.
Thank you, Marie, for reminding everyone to give a thumbs up.
Yeah, that's very sweet.
That's helpful for us, for sure. And of course, we'll probably both do a speed through at some point. Mine won't be today because I got to go down to the hospital. So it's busy the rest of the day, but probably do it tomorrow.
See some of that shimmers.
I guess I'm done. I guess we're done. Let's see. Give you guys a close-up. Did some splattering up there so that there'd be some stars. There's my moon, and then I've got Picatra Peak. And then down here, the spring wildflowers and the vermilion flycatcher.
Just trying to find, oh, here we go.
He's looking for some flies or some grasshoppers or some beetles, because that's what he eats. One nice thing about pan pastels is you can erase them.
Yeah.
So I took my tape off and went ahead and did my detailing, and then got pastel smeared all over the white part of my frame here that I had taped. But I can just erase it like that. Because of course I put my hand in it. You can see how lovely my hand is looking, or I stuck all my whole arm into the pastel. And I will spray this with some fixative before I close the book. Whoops.
Okay, this is making me mad. This is
What,
one
you
of
can't find something?
bottles that doesn't squirt.
Oh, that makes me mad too.
It's dribbling. There we go. Finally got it squirting. But I thought I would add a little bit of Starlight.
Starlight.
Right. To the background here.
It's just supposed to be a bit dark.
Because I'm liking these colors and things. It just isn't cooperating the way I want it to. Get some of that into the background. The sky. Give some of that wispy sky with this, what is that? Calypso teal. See if I can dry that off quickly and you guys can see what it looks like if I can get you to see the shimmer. Really pretty.
Everyone says both are beautiful. Thanks for sharing. Both so pretty. Awesome. Great job, ladies. That's what's going on in the chat.
You guys see the shimmer on that?
Oh, I can see the shimmer. Look at that.
Yeah.
Pretty.
Yep.
All right. Well, I guess we're about done. Thanks, everyone, for coming. And you can leave a comment or question below. All those things. And yeah, we'll see you next week on Thursday. And we're going to be working on assembling our collage collection books, our traveling books of stuff. So if you want to play along with that one, start collecting up all your things that you want to put.
Thanks for being here, everybody.
Yeah.
We appreciate you. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye for now.